Hello and welcome to the Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. It's Thursday, October 7th, 2021. We're back for another exciting installment in everybody's favorite all things cryptocurrency market analysis podcast. It's your boy Crypto Jack coming to you live this Thursday. Big apologies for missing the Wednesday update. You know, I don't like to I don't like to miss episodes. The markets always do something interesting whenever you step away, even for a minute. Of course, this isn't to endorse any kind of degen trading behavior or bad habits, but indeed, step away from my duties here at CC for a day, and what do you know, Bitcoin continues its big move up. Thursday, of course, another big green day. Bitcoin did hit a high of, let me see here, 55.7 as I was away, nearly 50s. Oh, I'm sorry, did I read this correctly?
Happened real quick.
Yeah, nearly 56k. Very, very cool.
Just cut through the order books.
Sure did. Very, very impressive stuff. But what's gonna happen next? Here we are in the 54, 55-ish range. This is about, I thought, the highs we would tap before getting that ultimate correction that we all been waiting for. Are we just hanging out here in the air? It's been a pretty bullish few days. We got a lot of ground to retrace. Our analysts, well, at least one of them, will be here today to well, plot the route forward. Will this trend continue, or do we got at least a 10% correction before we continue? We'll see what Jason thinks. All right, gonna cover a bit of news today as well, guys, and of course we're gonna get into the audience. We will shout out the audience. We'll check in on the bubbles. We'll see how the alts are faring amidst all of this with Bitcoin pumping. Are the alts keeping up? And We will, of course, get into a bit of a TA component hosted by your boy Jason here. And finally, we will we'll give away some lemons on DLive and get to your requests toward the latter half. Yes, Alex not with us today. Alex, hope you're doing well. Shoutouts to you. He's on Island Time. Yes, indeed. With that said, the charts, the markets can't wait. So let's get into a few news items and commence today's show. Let's get right into it. What do we have here? We have this first piece coming from Crypto Globe, titled Tesla CEO Elon Musk tweets about his Shiba Inu and it helps SHIB surge 242% this week. Indeed. You guys been watching the crazy run on SHIB. Apparently, yeah, never count out the meme coins. We've been talking about it on the show. And boy,
I just think it's silly that like he was tweeting about his dog, which is a Shiba Inu, and they're like, that's what made it go up. Like, he would have done that anyways, and if the market did nothing, they would have reported nothing. It's just like they're just finding shit. It's silly.
In this case, yes, it's probably a bit of a reach to attribute any bit of the SHIB pump to Elon. I didn't think he had much to do with it, but since the Coinbase listing, we've been on a bit of a roll. But let's see here. I mean, I just mostly wanted to throw this up for because I imagine this article is mostly fluff. But indeed, I do want to shout out one of the top performers of the last couple days. And you know, the meme coins indeed, the coins to capture the imagination. So many retail people out there. You know, nothing screams clown world like dog themed coins pumping, but that's just the modern world we live in. But let's have a look here. Meme-based cryptocurrency Shiba Inu surged another 20% on Thursday to become a top 20 crypto asset by market cap. In fact, at one point today, SHIB occupied the number 12 spot on the market cap table, ahead of both Chainlink and Uniswap. This has been a great week for Shiba Inu, which was inspired, of course, by Dogecoin and, of course, claim to fame, Elon Musk's favorite crypto. I'm not sure if this is actually confirmed. We got to get the fact checkers on this. But, all right, mostly this is where the fluff really comes hard on this article. So a couple Shiba Inus. I mean, look at this. Elon tweeting, my Shiba Inu will be named Floki. And Floki.
That was so long ago.
This is long ago. This is a real reach. This is a major reach.
Yeah, I remember what is it? What's the date on that?
Let's click in and find out.
June fucking 2nd.
No, these are from October for some reason. So he's reposting his doggy, his Shiba, maybe in commemoration of the Shiba pump right now. But all right, so these tweets are recent, dude.
That's fine. The ones of the dog, because it took him like a month to get it. But the Floki one, look at the date. Like, I'm gonna buy.
You're right. This one's from September. This one's from June, but this new one is from a couple days ago.
Yeah, it's just like he got the dog, but like you're saying that since he posted a picture of the dog that he got, that made fucking SHIB go up. That's so stupid.
Dude, are you not looking at the same dog I am? Do you see how cute this damn thing is? Look at this guy.
That's gonna make me want to go open up an exchange and buy some shit.
Yeah, basically. Well, I hear if you collect like a 500 SHIB, you get a free SHIB mailed to you in the mail from SpaceX. Is that true?
There you go. It could be. Couldn't they just upload, like, you know how they're like launching shit into space? Can't they connect with that fucking Tesla and just like upload it into that Tesla, and then you have an NFT in space?
Yeah, I guess you could, but I guess the point is, well, I mean, that's a separate matter altogether. But let's continue, guys. Let's not stray too far into other topics here. Enough of Shiba Inus, though. Let's go ahead and get into it. Jason, could you adjust something? Could you lower your mic input sensitivity? You're actually like overblown a little bit. I need you to dial it back. Yeah.
I can back up a little bit.
Yes, I'm backing up, and that'll be perfect. You're just blowing. Cool, thank you. Just blowing out the mic a little bit.
Blowing out everything.
All right. Let's continue, guys. There is SHIB. Just a big shout out to SHIB, I guess. Let's continue this piece here from Crypto Briefing. Another icon apparently pumping. Stellar. How much is Stellar up today? Stellar soars on MoneyGram partnership news. Man, like, I don't understand how partnering with a basic a dinosaur fintech dinosaur business is reason to pump, but I guess the XLM boys, desperate for any kind of news, and in this case, Stellar Foundation has partnered with MoneyGram to enable near real-time settlements. XLM gained over 19% following the announcement. Stellar might be bound for a brief correction. Blah 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 blah. All right. This old bag, eh? I remember XRP and what was it, MoneyGram, or was it Western Union? Either way, it just seems like that's a business that's already being in many ways obsoleted by this rise in cryptocurrency and other this latest form of remittances. Really, I'm not sure if I'd get too excited about MoneyGram and XLM throwing down together, but I guess in this case it was good for at least a 19% pump. Stellar Foundation making significant strides to grow the utility at XLM Ledger. A new partnership with MoneyGram aims to enable customers to convert digital assets into cash seamlessly. MoneyGram announcing teaming up with Stellar Foundation and Circle to create a bridge between digital assets and sovereign currencies. All right, this is sounding decent. Let's see here. Cross-border peer-to-peer payments and money transfer company aims to enable near real-time settlements using blockchain technology and stablecoins. Customers will have the ability to convert USDC to cash and vice versa, leveraging low fees and speed of the Stellar network. The integration is intended to boost the adoption of the blockchain technology, blah, 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 blah. All right, so are they going to be using the USDC? Is there a Stellar? Does USDC operate on Stellar? I presume it does. And it's issued on Stellar and might be used at MoneyGram. You know what? This isn't bad. I wonder what the KYC will be like, but if you could walk into like a participating MoneyGram location near you and get USDC on, say, the Stellar network, easily converted from fiat without KYC, this is a decent way to potentially, this might have some use after all, actually. Especially with cash, right? Because there is a need for Bitcoin ATMs, and this in a sense would be the equivalent of a Bitcoin ATM, except with, it spits out USDC, which is pretty handy, if you want to be a altcoin gambler of sorts. So maybe there's some use to this after all. Although the new services are scheduled to go live in select markets with further international expansion in 2022, market participants have reacted positively. XLM surged 20%. All right, well, the news is a little thin today, guys, so excuse me if we don't take a moment to explore the MoneyGram story via Stellar. But there are your Stellar bags pumping. There you go, Stellar boys.
It hasn't really pumped that much.
No, it certainly hasn't. Just to show you, maybe I'm right. The snooze really isn't that significant after all. But nonetheless, was something. I remember.
Got to get paid by writing an article.
I remember when stories like this would pump XRP's price, and in the end, what's XRP up to nowadays anyway? U.Today article titled "Tether describes Bloomberg's article as tired attempt to undermine its business." All right, so more FUD over at Tether. Let's see here. Tether issued a statement about Bloomberg's investigative report published on October 7th, describing the article as a tired attempt to hurt the biggest stablecoin issuer. The controversial company slammed the outlet for bashing its reporting on untrustworthy sources that have no direct knowledge of how Tether's business actually operates. Some of the damning details mentioned by Bloomberg include issuing billions of dollars worth of loans to digital asset lending firm Celsius and holding Chinese debt. Tether insists that the USDT stablecoin, whose market cap has now swelled to $68 billion, is fully backed. Here's a statement for Tether. All Tether tokens fully backed. We have constantly demonstrated, blah, 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 blah. You know the spiel. Earlier today, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin also said stablecoins have to be backed by actual US dollars. Bear with me one second before I complete this thought. Here we go. So Mnuchin today said that stablecoins have to be backed by actual U.S. dollars held in regulated bank for them not to turn into casino chips. In mid-September, when the troubles of Chinese property giant Evergrande started to unravel, Tether denied holding its commercial paper or any form of debt. But in late July, Bloomberg also reported Tether was facing criminal investigation in July, citing sources, blah, 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 blah. All right, some interesting information. Let's see here. There's no link to the Bloomberg article. Well, I'll have to dig it up, but nonetheless, indeed, I am sure I'm sure there's some juicy details being divulged by Bloomberg, and many of which might likely be true, including, yes, maybe exposure to bad Chinese debt, which is obviously a big topic of discussion right now. Probably lending to this firm Celsius. Indeed, probably some double dipping, some bad dealings, and all types, but nonetheless, doesn't seem like any market participant's faith is shaken at all in USDT. It certainly continues to serve its purpose, and this is just another bit of FUD concerning USDT for us to chew on, but me personally not losing any more sleep. How many times have we heard this? All right. Then again, I also don't leave too much of my holdings in USDT at any given time, and I'm also feeling Mnuchin here. Maybe stablecoins do need to be backed by actual U.S. dollars held in a regulated bank within the U.S. That would certainly boost confidence, wouldn't it not? I thought that's what USD Circle was supposed to offer, and yet I see similar FUD leveled at it as well. With that said, guys, let's continue. I got another story to cover here or two. This piece comes from Crypto Slate. Bank of America reports as cryptos, DeFi are only in the first inning. I think I might have covered this on Wednesday. Let me just dive in a little deeper. This week, Bank of America published a favorable crypto report detailing its analysis of the sector. It states that crypto has become too large to ignore. Yes, I do remember this. Indeed. We covered this article on Wednesday. Bank of America has a report. Indeed. Crypto too large to ignore. We're only in the first inning. Very, very excited to have skin in the game this early, right? Maybe we will make it. We're going to make it after all, guys. Are we really going to make it? Jason, say it ain't so. Are we going to make it?
I think we're going to make it, bud.
We're making it. All right. See you guys at the finish line.
That's all this is going to zero.
Couple brewskis all around, gentlemen.
Yeah, I got a couple panic room brewskis if this all goes to shit, so we'll be okay.
All right. We're good. All right. Let's continue. Hold on. Let me see here. Yes, I think this will do nicely. Let's continue. We've looked at this piece on Wednesday, so we can get into a couple tweets here. One from CoinDesk. USDC backer CirclePay is cooperating with the SEC government investigation. The SEC investigating Circle. I think we touched on this before. Let's have a look here. Circle said it's fully cooperating with the investigation, has declined to elaborate on the scope of it. Circle Financial is under investigation by the SEC. The payments company disclosed earlier this week. Yeah, I think we did cover this. Is there anything new? I think maybe it's just the statement that they're fully cooperating. All right, well, I don't imagine there's too much trouble over at Circle, but yeah, it just kind of goes to show you, even when you take something like stablecoin issuance and kind of bring it more to the Western Hemisphere, still regulators all up in arms. Well, maybe these stablecoin operations need to be properly vetted out. So maybe the SEC is not baseless in its pursuance of this investigation. Let's go have a look here at this next tweet from ChartX. Yes, Alex linked me to this. We have liftoff. It reads 3 huge updates coming to ChartX. We're big fans of ChartX here on the channel. We're not trying to shill this too shamelessly, but ChartX does good work. It does do a good job.
Alex, ChartX whale.
Alex could very well be a ChartX whale. I own some ChartX still. I'm still very much underwater on my ChartX, but apparently announcing a liftoff, some advertising, Moonbeam network. They're making some moves over on some other networks, so this is good. ChartX blazing a path toward charting coins on many other chains, not just Ethereum and BSC tokens.
In motion.
Very, very good software. Shoutouts to the ChartX team. Let's have a look. And MoneyGram story here. Yeah, we got that too, but we already covered that. So is there really not a whole lot more to cover today? Let's have a look. SEC approves ETF for Bitcoin Revolution companies. Portfolio includes. I see. Not quite a Bitcoin ETF, but the SEC approved an ETF consisting of companies holding large amounts of Bitcoin on their balance sheet. The ETF's portfolio will include about 30 companies, which include Tesla and PayPal. This approval comes as crypto world continues to wait for the SEC to approve a pure Bitcoin ETF. Indeed, we are still waiting for.
It makes a lot of sense, right? Like if all of these people holding it and Bitcoin, and if they do expect Bitcoin to go up, the value of these companies is going to skyrocket as well. So investing into those companies is basically the same thing.
in many ways. So here is one basket being formed. As the crypto world awaits anxiously for Securities and Exchange Commission to approve a Bitcoin ETF, agency took another step in that direction by approving a fund called the Volt Bitcoin Revolution ETF. Managed by a SF-based Volt Equity, the fund will provide retail investors with exposure to Bitcoin by creating a portfolio of Bitcoin Revolution companies that hold a significant amount of crypto on their balance sheets. In its initial application filed in June, Volt said 25% of the fund's assets would be made up of stock consisting of MicroStrategy, a cybersecurity company that's been buying large amounts of Bitcoin. All right, so they're obviously heavily weighted. 25% of the stock is weighted in MicroStrategy, but in an interview with Decrypt, the founder said that percentage could be slightly lower when the fund, which will trade under the ticker symbol BTCR, is listed on the New York Stock Exchange in the next few weeks. All right, so there's still
they'll make a fund out of anything.
This is cool. This isn't bad. Park added that.
It's a good workaround.
Yeah, this is a great workaround. Park added that the fund will consist of shares in approximately 30 companies, including Tesla, Square, Coinbase, PayPal. Also said Volt decided to include Twitter, which recently made Bitcoin tipping part of its operations, and Bitcoin mining companies. Go ahead.
Do you know if that's up and running yet?
The Twitter tipping, it is, I think, on iOS, exclusively on iOS devices right now. I think, yes. Bitcoin mining companies like Marathon also hold currency in their corporate treasuries. Park said that Bitcoin Revolution Fund will be less volatile than pure crypto plays, since a plunge in the price of Bitcoin doesn't always have a major effect on the shares of firms like Tesla or PayPal. Likewise, other ETFs, the Volt Fund's fees are modest, consisting of 0.85% annual management fee. Jason, are you already managed my money for 0.85%?
I'll do it for 8 for you.
All right, very generous. While the SEC's green light on the Volt Fund is still a far cry from approval of a pure Bitcoin ETF, suggests the agency's apparent hardline against Bitcoin may be softening a little bit. A year ago, an ETF like this wouldn't have been possible, said Park. We hope this is a crack in the SEC's dam. All right, one can certainly hope. There is a very brief look at the SEC story. How about that? Approving BTCK. Was that what it was called? Or was it called BTCR? BTCR. We'll make a note of that. Make a mental note of that. Maybe we will visit BTCR over the coming months and see how the fund performs. Something to add to your NYSE watch lists. All right. Anything else I really need to cover? It's 1:30. No, I think we've gone long enough. 30 minutes of news. Let's get into the next piece. 700% pump on Ethereum if 2022 history repeats itself. All right, I could do a 770x pump on Ethereum. That wouldn't be bad, right? Get your ETH bags up. Yeah, 7,000%. Yeah, baby. History gonna repeat itself? Not too sure about that one, but we shall see. We shall see. Let's go ahead and get into the next segment. What's going on in the bubble space? How are alts doing today? Phantom. Damn, Phantom having major day. It's up 40%. What happened to Sheeb? Sheeb getting really sold into this hard. Sheeb giving up the top spot on bubbles today. Must be getting sold into pretty hard right about now. Let's go look at Sheeb very quickly. Yeah. If you bought the top on Sheeb earlier today, you would be down about 35% right now.
Not quick.
Let's take a look. When did the dump begin? About 6 hours ago.
Pretty blow off toppy to me.
I mean, you just suddenly you climb the charts, a meme coin climbing the charts and displacing projects like Uni.
That's
and
a perfect example right there. Stair step up, elevator down.
Straight up. All right. Well.
That's how it gets everyone.
Well, if the Doge taught me anything, don't ever count out the pups. Let's continue. Indeed, so Phantom big day today. Sheep getting sold into, but still coming up about 14% gains on the day. This XYM symbol trending again on crypto bubbles, up nearly 20%. BSV is up 16% today. I see DOT, Near, Hex, XLM, Kusama making up the single-digit gains today. A couple losers today in the by way of file transfer token, AMP, Tezos, DYDX, ICP, Helium Network. That's about it. Kind of a mixed bag today. Nothing, not too big of a loser though across the board. All right, not much more to add to this. There is your very brief look at bubbles, guys. Let's go ahead and get into the next piece, shall we? What do we have here? We have the audience, of course, the fantastic CC audience. Did you guys miss us yesterday? Sure hate missing shows in the middle of the week, especially when the prices are doing something this interesting. So let's go see what everybody's saying. Big shout outs to
Like you're avoiding it on purpose or something.
yeah, I know, right? It's like our analysts don't want to show their faces now, do they? Well, told you guys, always listen to me. Never short Bitcoin. Robert Warner on YouTube. Everyone else gave up. LOL. Well, I'm not sure what you're referring to, Mr. Ether, but shout outs to you. Cardano USD, take a peek at Hex 2. Sure, we'll add those to request line today. Dave Rice on YouTube, shout outs to you. Exquisitine. Richard Hart knows how to market, but I don't trust the dude. Okay, well, thank you for the comment. Mike Maker on DLive. Let's go. Brandon. Who's Brandon? Exquisite. Unless you're speaking solely TA, which is fair. Yeah, if we're talking Hex, generally we're going to try to stay away. But in general in the show, we don't really go into fundamentals too much. But yes, we could give Hex a look.
With me, guys. Alex knows a lot more about that shit than I do. I just look at charts and patterns and stuff. That's how I figure it out.
Yep.
You don't need to know, like we just started the trading in the zone book, and I like a lot of the first chapters about you don't need to be the most intelligent person in the world, and a lot of the people when they first start trading actually have a lot more of the keys to being successful at it than the people who go on to study a ton more and end up confusing themselves with the more knowledge that they have. It's actually pretty interesting.
Indeed. There can maybe it's a kind of a beginner's luck type of thing. Let's have a look.
It is in the sense that like you can kind of separate it a little bit. Once you start getting attached to your positions emotionally and stuff like that, then you start becoming a totally different trader. And yeah, of course, those people who first start usually win first, which is usually the worst thing that could happen to them, because then they get that sense of, well, this is easy.
Right, I know that feeling, dude. Let's go ahead and read a few more comments here. We got Dave Rice with us on YouTube. Big shout out to you. He's also on DLive. Kicked this thing into gear. Yeah, sorry we were a little late starting today's show. Had to make some last minute tweaks to the stream. Alex wasn't joining us. That sort of thing. Look at who decided to go live today. Good to see you guys. Hope all's well with Jack and the gang. Well, thank you, Crypto Cats. All is very, very well. It's a nice October day. Any word joining us? Morning to the yes, thank you, any word, thank you very much. Hope you're doing well. Cavano Trades. Oh, hey folks. Well, hey to you, Mr. Trades. Nick K, would you guys mind taking another look at Ohm this week? Yeah, I'll add Ohm to the request line. Hang tight. Jason Livermore. Hi guys, can you take a look at Matic and CBC? Yeah, we will look at both of those. Still love the intro music, Jack. Well, thank you, Mr. Ether. There is a update coming soon. I have made big updates to the channel, to the intro, etc. We will be launching those soon. So enjoy the music while it still lasts. Any word? Pirate Chain finally going back up. Well, we'll check in on Pirate Chain. And Darrow doesn't stop going up. Darrow still pump it, is it? Well, Darrow, we will give a look as well. GT Mark 4 on YouTube. Hey, what's up, peeps? Please check out INVU. INVU, what is that? Invictus? I'll check out INVU. Bobby over on YouTube says, what's up? Well, big shout outs to Bobby. And Blockchain Gain says, I smashed the like button, number 6. Well, thank you, guys. Please do hit that like button. Do what we can to boost the channel. LX81SG, hi guys. Well, shoutouts to you. Any word? Crypto Fear Greed Index is up to 76. Extreme greed. Yep, I can see it. I can see why. Alex81SG requesting Ontology USDT and Holochain USDT today, please. Ontology and Holochain, yes sir. I'll add those. Bear with me 1 second here while I make a quick tweak. Much better. Let's continue. What do we have here? Cardano Trades. That's the world of market news articles, man. Always looking for explanations and just creating content for clicks so that they can get paid. Exactly. The guys who write some of these articles and post some of the sus, TA. This is what they got to do. What can I say? It's a Thursday over at Crypto Briefing or wherever article was from, and he's like, all right, how can I put Elon and a cute doggy in this blog post to get more clicks? Probably works like a charm, let's be honest. Cavano trades. All right. Correlation does not equal causation. Yes. Crypto cat's cute. Looks kind of retarded though. No, doggy looks hella cute, dude. Don't worry about that doggy. Looks chill. If Elon doesn't want it, I'll take over for that sheep pup. Really cute. Yes, in space. What Jason said. Jason's quiet. I hope not. Jason's quiet compared to Jack. I will try to up him a little more.
So that way, let us know, guys.
Yes, hopefully it's good. Tesla in space is fake. Perfect. Paint among space dust and debris. Yeah, I agree. I don't think they actually sent the Roadster to space. I think it's actually fake too, guys. I think it's on the screen. I think it's fake. But I'll leave that up to you for the term. Crypto Jenny's here. Shout outs to Jenny. David Rice, bowl that up. Okay, yeah, smoke him if you got him. Cavano Trades, I say we're going to make it. I say we are too. Chili and Lime on Twitch. Y'all should try CoinTrader Pro for those low cap coins. It uses CoinMarketCap info, so you can do USD. Yes, we do use CoinTrader.pro, or at least Alex does on the stream when we got to find more obscure crap. Anyword requesting XLM. Yeah, we'll put Stellar on the list. Can you please look into Block? All right. Finn, Texas. I sure will. Philly Carr joins us on YouTube. Evening, fellas. Hope all is well with you guys. Doing good, thank you. Moonshine Fuel took profits. All part of the game. All right, well, it sounds like play on player is what I tell Moonshine Fuel. Crypto Cats, we missed y'all. Thank you. B-Flow looks like fun. Or no, FTM hit TP1 and 2. Oh, did we have an FTM trade on officially for the group?
He must have had one because I didn't.
All right, well, Alex must have put on an FTM trade and it hit 2 take profits. Shout out. Well, somebody. Oh, B-Flow then did. Okay. Shout out to B-Flow. Congrats, B-Flow, hitting 2 take profits. Jules asks, have you guys checked out the NFT United People of Earth on OpenSea? It looks like a treasure hunt. It's an interesting idea.
That is clearly spam.
Could very well.
Those guys shilling NFTs.
Yes, it's probably shilling the crap out of that. But thank you, Jules, for shilling United People of Earth. Sounds very utopian. Crypto Jenny, keep it simple and keep it moving. Indeed. Murdoch, shoutouts to you on Twitch. He says hello, everyone. Adam, charts looking good, fellas. Thank you, Adam. 3-day charts give signals that test well. And yeah, I think a bunch of our bottom feeder signals all popped off and hit take profits. That's good.
I was looking at those results earlier today, and like 12 of them hit at least like an average of 10 to 15%, like within 2 days. It's pretty impressive. I should have just been trading bottom feeder last month.
No kidding. Bottom feeder did good work there. Let's just mention a couple more comments, guys. We're gonna get into the next segment in just a moment. Who do we have here? I lost my position here. Requesting SPI from Poly B. Big shouts to Poly B. I will add that. A lot of requests coming in today. Adam, for Bitcoin and Ethereum, the weekly is curling above the baseline. All right, we'll check those out on the higher time frames. Jules S, if you guys can look at it, that would be amazing, and I love the show. So Jules might be shilling, but maybe not too shamelessly. Might be an actual sincere fan of the show. Maybe not. We'll give him benefit of the doubt. GT Mark IV says, I NVUs the InvestView OTC Bitcoin miner. Understood. I will add that to the list. Get those lemons in, kids. Yeah, get those lemons in. B-Flow writes, vape 'em if you got 'em. I suppose, yes. Get the smoke out. Murdoch, the Murloc, curious how you guys feel about Facebook. Seems to be in a tough spot. I don't know if Congress has what it takes to put Zuck up against the wall. Seems like one of those times it just ends up with them being educated on how the tech works. All right, yeah, Facebook, Zuckerberg facing off with Congress again, is it? And finally, we have Guardian with us. Hey guys, and B-Flow says Hex looks weak, but I'm vaping them. All right, well, B-Flow, this one's to you, buddy boy. Why wouldn't people sell their liquid hex for USDC so that on fork they could purchase P-Hex at 0? Not too sure why they're not converting their hex into USDC to swap for P-Hex at an opportune time, but I will let the hexicans determine what they do with their hex and their USDC. Yes, I think that's what they call them, hexicans over there. But everyone, that is your look at the audience engagement section of the show. Let's go ahead and get into the request line. I'm going to actually need a minute here to fix another streaming element here. Bear with me 1 second, guys. Well, that sheep's still bleeding. Still bleeding.
Oh, I bet it bleeds out.
I pity the fool who FOMO'd in at the top there, right? Their friend probably calling them.
It's just amazing that anyone would even just looking at that chart, like that that wonder in your head, like that, like fear of missing out, like this is just going to keep going. Like, how is it so strong that you think that pattern would keep going?
Because it's only up 300% in a couple days, and oh my God, Doge did. Look what Doge did over, this period of time. So if Doge did 70 million%, Shiba's on the way to doing that, and blah blah blah. And so people rationalize it all types of ways, and FOMO in. All right, guys, let me get into the next scene. Sorry to keep everybody waiting. Let's go ahead and get into it. I might have to make some more fixes here. Jason, if you don't mind, go. Oh, he's already live. Brilliant. All right, connecting to Jason's stream. Bear with me while I rejigger things here because Jason's layout is just that much different than Alex's. All right, this is good. You guys are currently looking at Jason's.
I was looking at Shib real quick.
Yes, he's got Shib on the screen right now. Let me fix one more on-screen element. Bear with me, everyone. All right, we're getting closer to ready to have Jason take us through his scan of the markets. All right, beautiful. Sheeb ticker, nice and perfectly visible on the top right of the screen, guys. So we all on the same page together for this segment. I'm gonna go dive into the live chat and start extracting everyone's requests. You know what to do. Drop those requests below. Although you already inundated us with quite a few already, we should be good for a bit. In the meantime, Jason, you got the floor.
Yep. Yeah, Shib's bled out about 37% here. I think you can continue to expect this lower time frames. 4 hours, clearly breaking trend right here. You're going to have to wait another 2 hours. You could get some buying pressure. We just don't know right now, but it clearly sliced completely through this little block that was marked out. So, I mean, it's a meme coin. You expect it to kind of wick around like this, so this is not surprising. But getting into the big boy, Bitcoin, just not giving us any chances to get in here. No signs of downside at all. We've just been continuing the momentum. As you can see here now today, though, time transformation is giving an exit signal on the long. We are quite extended without any kind of retracement. I have the mid average level of this price marked out here at about that 48 200 48.20 to 48.200, somewhere in there, about the average median price of this movement. As you can see, Bitcoin dominance falling as well, which I think is going to be a sign that we might be able to see a little pullback here on Bitcoin, which would make a lot of sense with the amount of pressure we've gotten to the upside, and then let a lot of these alt charts and other charts catch up. But getting back to Bitcoin here, I think that this was a very bullish move, of course, like very large movement within a couple of days here. But usually when we get those kinds of moves under resistance, it's usually just people trying to get out of their bags. So I'm not completely sold on this yet. And I haven't been able to take a position on it because you can see right here the Bitcoin long was just way overextended here, and then just never gave anything back. And then we had another three white soldiers pattern here, which usually could be considered as a bullish pattern. But with the exit signal and the overextension, I think that we're likely to get a movement that mimics something like, let's just go find it, something a lot like this. Let's just go here and go from here to here. So I think that we are likely to see a movement like this on the daily to come back and meet this median line. Something right about like this. I think that this would make a lot of sense. I think it would make a lot of sense for what we're seeing in Bitcoin dominance, as well as the alts needing a little. They do look like they need to catch up, in my opinion, a little bit here. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. A pullback to this range. I'm not sure how quickly that'll happen. Of course, I just took a pattern of a similar pattern from earlier, so it doesn't necessarily need to look exactly like this, but I do think it's very likely that we get this test of this median range at least, and then we can decide whether or not we're going to continue to the upside. But if we do, I mean, it's pretty clear skies. So let's just take a real quick look at a trend fib extension. Just let's do the weekly. So we can go from here, here. I think, yeah, the next likely level, if we do break above this, continue up. I don't know. There's a lot of empty space down here that has not been tested that I just don't trust that much. So I'm still going to be bearish in this moment, at least for. I don't think that we're going to get a new all-time high from here, but I could absolutely be wrong. I think that we have a lot of time in between to figure that out. The weekly is giving us a pretty good continuation signal, so I'll be curious to see how this plays out on the weekly, of course. But if we do get that pullback, it might not be above resistance. So we'll just have to wait and see. On the daily, for me, Bitcoin, there's just nothing we can do here. I wish I would have been able to catch a lot more of this movement, but I just simply couldn't with my system. But now that I'm out, I'm sitting on my hands. I have time. If we do get this pullback, I'll get back in. Anyone who bought up here is just going to be suffering all the way back down through, and then we can really figure out where the market wants to go, whether we want to go or we go. So I mean, it could be anything like that. But speaking of which, let's just go over here and look at that, because I was just looking at that the other day real quick on Bitcoin futures, and I just really hate this gap down here. I mean, I know like they're not an absolute thing, but that's a big space in the market there that has not been tested at all, and I would be really shocked if we just continue to go all the way to all-time highs. But if it happens, it happens. But I would just rather be reserved here than get caught longing up here, and then we get that just crazy price action down to the downside. And we've seen it happen before, so it's not like it can't happen. So I would rather be on my hands here. So that's kind of what I think about Bitcoin in this spot here specifically. Going to Ethereum. Ethereum, I think fits that narrative as well, that Bitcoin might have that pullback, because I do think that this is where TP1 sitting on this continuation long today. I like that we're above this resistance. There's a nice gap between price here from entry to a TP1 sitting at about 38.47. If Ethereum closes like this today, I will likely be taking the long up to, well, of course, the TP1, but taking the continuation long on Ethereum. I think that with Bitcoin dominance falling, as well as Bitcoin topping out a little bit, apparently, as per our oscillators, that we will likely get this relief in alts. I mean, not a relief. I think that they'll catch up to the price, because Bitcoin's just moved so volatilely that I think that it's gonna revert back to its average, and then let the other alts kind of do their thing as well. So this is a good continuation long on the daily, that if it closes as is, I'll likely be posting to the group. And then getting over into other things. This is exactly what I'm expecting as well, because if you look at the way that these patterns are, a lot of the charts and the alts look like this. I think that we're getting a descending channel breakout. I think that this will make a lot of sense with the narrative that I was just explaining for Ethereum as well. I think that we do end up getting this We've already gotten that little bit of a top here, but I think that this is some bottoming behavior, and then we get that extension up into this range, which like hit TP1. I think it'll be the exact same thing for Ethereum coming up to hit the top of its range, and whether it breaks out or not, that we'll be in the right position. If it breaks out, we'll keep riding it, and if it doesn't, we'll likely hit TP1, and then if we have to get out at break even, we have to get out at break even. So DeFi perp, I do think that this is bouncing off of old resistance come support now. I think that you'll likely see that continuation. Nothing that you can do right here, of course. If you wanted to actually take this long signal, you technically could via my system because you haven't closed below the 13 and you would still be in this position. So maybe you get a better entry on this, but wait for the break. Otherwise, right now you are crossing under on your oscillators, so it wouldn't be a good time to enter. It could play out for you, but that's just not how we trade. I'm going to Dragon Perp. I think Dragon Perp looks the same, getting a continuation. I think the continuation on Ethereum looks a lot better than this because you are trapped below some resistance here. This doesn't look nearly as strong to me. I think that it needs a little bit more downside, but it could end up playing out the exact same way. Exchange perp, just about the exact same chart. Mid perp. I mean, they're basically all doing the same pattern, but kind of stacking it differently. So this one's just coming up to its resistance as well. Ship perp as well. Looking at gold here. Gold gave you a long signal 2 days ago, but WADA just was not there for it. I think that you'll likely come back down here and test a little bit more, but gold does seem to be starting to bottom a little bit, but I think that you might have to test this range another time. Let's see. Oh, actually we did test it right here, so maybe not. This could be a bottom for gold here, but this signal I just can't take yet, so you'll have to wait. It does appear that you have a trend break right here. You'll likely come back down here to test this level. So gold's starting to set itself up, but nothing that we can take here. Silver, I think, actually looking pretty strong here for a bottoming behavior. Today it's giving a signal. It just depends on how it closes. If this closes up, it'll likely be giving you a good signal on silver. And this is a pretty low risk entry, I do believe, because you're gonna know if it hits a lower low, you'll likely get kicked out of that position anyways. But yeah, taking gold up to 23.2, I think that that's almost a no-brainer trade, to be honest with you. So wait for the close on silver and you might have a good long there. Traditional markets doing much better today. It was kind of shocking for me, at least, because my trading career hasn't been that long. It's just interesting to see the way that different markets interact with everything, and I was really shocked to see how negative a lot of the traditional markets were doing, with Bitcoin doing so well. I mean, maybe that's that whole narrative of the decoupling that people always talk about or whatever. But it was definitely interesting to see. So I was expecting some upward pressure on all of the traditional markets, starting to fill gaps here, which I think is to be expected. But I'm still pretty bearish on traditional markets just because we turned around here. We're still under a lot of resistance. We've broken a lot of long-term trends. So I think that the traditional markets do continue to bleed out. Got a little bit of an upside on the Dixie with a continuation signal. Still under resistance, so I don't like it completely. But the Dixie's still looking strong here, but I think that it does end up bleeding out. But we'll just see. If we get continuation out of this, I think that that's definitely continued more downside for the traditional markets. And if not, I would assume Bitcoin as well, but I mean, it's been bucking the trend lately. But how long can we assume it can do that? But I mean, for me, guys, like that's basically the general overview that I do. But then I would just do a regular scan through my Bybit and Coinbase markets because that's what I'm trading at the moment. So if we want to, we can get into requests.
Yeah, I'm down for that. Let's do it, guys. There was, yeah, we're approaching the top of the hour. 30 minutes of TA brought to you by your boy Jason in the hot seat today. Judging by the comments, people are liking it. Alex 81SG, what setting do you have on your minks? He asks. Yeah, what are your minks settings? You want to open your minks setting and show everybody?
Yep. I use basically the minks length of 10. I'm pretty sure this is damn close to default, if not default, because it's just worked for me, man. Like I said, I am the last filter in my system, basically. And with the way that I've set this up with time transformation, Awada, it's a pretty picky system. And then the ones that I do get, I filter even more. So that's usually why my hit rate is what it is, or at least why I think it is. But yeah, pretty much default settings on minks. And then I do make sure that you have no baseline influence on your. That is one thing that's not default. Make sure that you're no influence on your signals, because if you have that on, then if you're looking at higher time frames or lower time frames, you'll no longer see other signals. It'll cut out other signals. So just make sure that there's no baseline option if you're using minks, because I do think that that's defaulted. I had an issue with it.
All right. Well, shout-outs to Alex 81SG. Hopefully that answers that question concerning his mink settings. Bear with me just 1 second, guys. Gonna make a few adjustments. Always making tweaks on the fly, but here we go. Let's get into the first request. Putting the first request on the screen now. What do we have here? What do we have here? We have the following for Robert Winter, the famous Mr. Ether, joins us on the YouTube. He's, of course, giving away $50 this week, too, to the best request of the week. All you got to do is post your request. Be a regular, post your request, and Mr. Ether might sprinkle some crypto on you.
Is ADA a request for Mr. ETH?
It is, sir. ADA USD is Mr. Ether's request.
He might have to pay himself, because looking at from my system, the only thing that I dislike a little bit is that there's resistance right here. But for all intents and purposes, this is everything that you'd want to see from a signal from my system. Wada Atars well above the dead zone. Time transformations crossing up. Minx is giving you that initial long signal. We're pretty tight to the 13, which I love, which means that if we do take this signal, there's going to be likely little downside, because we're closing back above this shelf here. Which I like to see, and over here. So a close like this is a beautiful signal. Definitely going to be taking ADA today if it closes anything like this. And I think TP1 is pretty much in the bag at that point. But we'll have to see how it closes. But like this pattern a lot. ADA is definitely going on my list. It'll likely be a signal tonight. Like it a lot.
Alright, big shout outs to Mr. Ether for a look at ADA and Hex. Yes, Hex is also on the request line.
Oh, it finally went down a little bit. Nice. So I wasn't completely wrong when we were talking over here, that I'm like, I do think that you'll likely start to see some downside here. Getting bought back up to the baseline here. It's amazing that Hex just never wants to break, man. You'd be looking at levels of, and you're coming right back down onto it here. So I mean, nothing you can do right now. If you're in a short on Hex, you should be getting out of it, considering all of our oscillators are crossing back up, giving us that take profit short signal. That doesn't necessarily mean take a long, and that's one thing that people get confused with a little bit. It's just saying get out of your shorts, because there is a possibility that this goes to the upside. So you want to limit your risk there. But Hex, it's seeming to build a little bit of momentum, in the sense that you shouldn't be in a short in it right now, which is better than a couple of days ago. Which, I mean, with the price that Hex has risen, you'd figure that you'd get a little bit more volatile wicks to the downside. But apparently not. And you did not get a lower low here. So, in some senses, you are holding some kind of support here. So, I guess just keep an eye on it. And if it continues like this within the next 3 days, you'll likely get this break of trend and a signal on my system, which will probably give you an average entry right around that 0.43 if you do get that break to the upside and that signal. But for now, there's nothing you should do with it.
All right, there was a look at Mr. Ether's 2 requests. Let's go ahead and get into the next one. We have Ohm. Ohm for Nick K. Would you guys mind taking another look at Ohm this week? Thank you. Yeah, it's our pleasure. Ohm it
What's
is.
Omar?
OHM. It should be on TradingView. Just type in OHM without the USDT.
Oh, wrap teeth.
Yeah.
Ooh. Well, interesting candle today. I mean, this market cap must be relatively low or something. Like, it's just a weird looking candle. It just dropped and then got bought back up. But looking at this on the daily, this actually appears to be quite weak. You've just recently broke this trend to the upside pretty significantly. This buyback here, I think you could actually look at this to be a shorting opportunity, but it's not quite there. All the signal is there on the daily, but WADA is just not matching up with it. But if this bleeds out a little bit more today, closing below, it's underneath the 13 EMA right now. So if this sells off a little bit during the day, you might get a full short on this. But I think that you can likely take this at least down to that 14-15 cent range before you get continuation to the upside. But then again, if this closes above the 13 today, or like this with not enough momentum, you can't take it. So just wait for the signal to present itself, and then hopefully it's on the right side. But it could go either way. Of course, every chart can. But I would look at this as a shorting opportunity rather than any kind of bullish movement.
Cool. All right, there is your look at Ohm. Big shout outs to Nick K of the YouTube chat for that one. Getting into the next request, we have Jason Livermore on YouTube. Hi guys, can you look at Matic and CVC, please? Yeah, let's give old Matic a look.
Matic is one of those charts that I think looks very similar to the Ethereum chart in that there's nothing we can do quite yet here. Like I did say, there is a signal from way back a week ago that technically would still be fair game because I didn't take it because the extension above the baseline. Now we're seeing that pullback. One could look at this if they were just kind of trading my system that you would be in this anyways. So entering here could still technically still be a valid trade. But I think that this plays out a lot like those descending channels that I was talking about, like with Ethereum and with, I know Aave looked like one, but I think that we might get that break to the upside, and this signal actually ends up playing out with Bitcoin dominance bleeding out. I think that we do see all the charts that look like this. I think that they end up breaking to the upside, and then whether those hold or not, this is why we have take profits. But if you were trading just the oscillators today, it's saying don't be in this with a little bit of bearish divergence, hidden bearish divergence right here. But in my opinion, I do think that these break to the upside and these end up being good signals. It's just there's a lot of them that look the same. So if we're going to do that, we need to pick the strongest one. And I do think Ethereum looks like it might be the guy. But I don't hate this chart. Even though our oscillators are turned over, I don't hate this for another stab up, which would be enough for your take profits. But
wow, all right, that was a great look at
CVC.
Matic. Yeah, let's get to CVC next. Jason on a roll today, guys. Really enjoying the TA today.
This is just one of those ones that you miss. The long signal came in right here, but there's just nothing there to it. WADA wasn't there. You had a rising explosion level, but that was about it. So you just can't take real good confidence in that signal. You came up here and tagged this level of resistance. I don't think that this looks very strong, to be honest with you. You're getting crossovers everywhere, which would be a get out of your long signal, take profit long. You are coming up on this shelf of support, but I don't think longing this position is a good idea at all. If anything, this needs to come back down and test its low, or at least the median price around that 45 cent range. I think that you're seeing resistance here. I don't think this looks very strong at all. There's stronger charts out there, so I would avoid this one.
Cool. Well, there is your look at Matic and CBC. Big shout outs to Jason Livermore. It's getting into the next request, though. All right, these two might be a little harder to chart. Anyword wants to look at Pirate Chain. Says Pirate Chain finally going up, and Darrow doesn't stop going up either. All right.
Chardex's server's down, I guess.
All right. Well, forget Pirate Chain unless Pirate Chain shows up on TradingView when you search ARRR. Ooh,
It does.
it does. It's always on KuCoin.
Yay!
All right, let's do it.
Haven't seen R in a while. I think it looks strong. I really do. Nothing I can take because it just passed. Long signal right here, but nothing there. Came back down, tested, and then pop up. I think that this looks very strong, to be honest with you. Broke this, came back down, tested it. I don't think it... I don't like the wick that you just got. I mean, but I think that this is a bullish chart. I wouldn't be taking it here just because I like to trade my system and avoid anything else, because why make the headache worse for yourself? But I think this could easily be taken back up to the top of its range around $3.80. What is that? I mean, and that's 50% move from its bottoms. Yeah, I like this. I really do. I think this would be a very low risk entry on Pirate Chain, especially if you're considering long term. It's definitely a long term bottom. Well, what data that we have, and with this type of price movement, you usually get some kind of retracement back up to its. That's why people use fibs and shit like that. I mean, you're gonna at least get price action up to that $4 range. So I think Pirate Chain looks good. I really do.
All right, there was your look at Pirate Chain. Let's get into Darrow. Does Darrow show up when you type it in on TradingView? All right, yep. Beautiful.
Darrow unstoppable, boy. You are running out of momentum here, but as for trading, nothing yet. You are starting to get into overbought territory, but I mean, I've seen these things go up to like 9 purple dots, so who knows? But I think, to be honest with you, if you're in Darrow, I would not take any profit yet because you're not getting any signals. But with the sell-off that we get from Bitcoin, there is a chance that Darrow keeps running here. It does seem to be getting more parabolic, as you see from... Well, you could just go from here. Sorry. Here to here. From here to here. I know this isn't the way that people usually do it, but in my head it works. But then you're starting to get more parabolic, and now it's called a high angle of attack. We're starting to get a pretty high angle of attack here, and if this wants to keep running, it's gonna keep getting more parabolic. And if we keep running, you're definitely in price discovery at that point. I mean, Darrow looks very strong here. There's nothing to say that Darrow's weak here. And you got another crossover, as you see here. Look at all these purple dots warning you to get out, but at the same time you keep marching up. I think Darrow looks super strong here. Nothing to suggest that it's weak right now. We could get sold into and end up getting that exit signal. But as for now, Darrow looks like the strongest thing out there. I'll be honest with you.
All right, Darrow looked super hot. Shout outs to Anyword, I believe, who dropped the... And yes, it is Anyword with Darrow. Getting into the next one for GT Mark IV, I'm also going to head over to the DLive, get the chest ready for deployment. Drop your lemons in now. Lemons coming your way in a few minutes. Next one up is INVU. This is a traditional, yes. Let's pull up INVU for GT Mark IV.
That is one hell of a retracement, isn't it? Let's look at this on the weekly. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. It does look like it's at a historically a good bottom, but there's still 90% on the table here. And with the way that traditional markets are looking, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of companies take it right on the head. If you're, let's just look at it on lower time frames. Got a little bit of regular divergence coming in on your oscillator, hitting a local bottom, a little bit lower. Nothing to do with this quite yet. If you're a long-term holder of this, you could take a shot at this and then probably likely put your stop below the local low. But with the way that this looks on the weekly and the way that traditional markets are starting to look really shitty, I think that there's a likelihood that you break this level. So be watching this level, watching that 11 cents range. If you start breaking above that and close back above that, that'll actually be confirmation of your 13 EMA as well. Then I think that that's a great position to look to make quite a big movement to the upside. But looking at it the way that it is, you haven't broken any trends at all. Very weak. And traditionals are also looking weak. With another 90% that could be on the table, I don't know if this is the chart you want to pick up at this moment. But give it some time. This is where you be patient and let it prove to you which way it wants to go, because it will show which way it wants to go. But as a long-term investment, possibly. I mean, it's at a historical point that has been pretty good support over time, but that doesn't mean it's going to hold this time.
All right, just drop some lemons in the chest, and you're gonna open it up in about, say, a minute or two. You guys got a heads up right here. Let's get into the next request, and then we'll open up that chest. Jason on the roll. Let's get into Alex81SG's request. He wants to look at ontology, ONT, USDT.
I'll be honest with you, I don't hate ontology here. Could not get a signal from it. You see this little price range here. Couldn't get a signal out of it, but I do like what it's looking like here. I think that you can likely get continuation to the upside, like you're going to see with like Ethereum and all of those, likely to up to this price range, which will be enough for a take profit, but nothing for my system to do here. But if you're in it, I don't see any reason to get out of it right now. You could have a, but with the way that the rest of the market is, that's why I'm not thinking that you get this test down to this level like you'd see like with an inverse head and shoulders. I think that we start just going right through and then we get that bigger retracement. And I think we've seen evidence of that on Bitcoin, because we have moved quite a bit in price without any retracements. And that's just not how price works. It could get more parabolic, yes, but there will be a point in time where we revisit some lower prices for sure.
All right.
But,
well, go ahead.
Yeah,
sorry.
ONT I think looks fine to still be in if you're in it. I wouldn't enter at this point. There's definitely better things popping up tonight than this. Next up is hot. Feeling hot.
Yes,
hot, hot.
sir. Hollow chain for Alex81SG up next, and DLive chest. I'm clicking the open button in 30 seconds.
Hot is one of those ones I just remember selling up here and just being out of it. Up here that you've got, I mean, you could use these trends, of course, but I don't usually like to do that with these types of things. It does appear that we're coming right up on this trend line. You got a long signal a couple days ago that you could not have taken with WADA, but I don't like that there's all of this down here that's been untested, especially like right here. You'd figured that this level would be tested at least one more time here, but I don't think that this looks very strong. If you are in it, you're getting an exit signal on your oscillators. Hot might not be one of the ones you want to be in right now. On to XFM.
All right, big shout outs to today's lemon giveaway winners. Before we get into that XLM request, we have Anyword coming in first place. Big shout outs to Anyword with your 50-ish lemons. PDD63, David Rice, Crypto Jenny, and ETH1. Our big winners for the lemon giveaway, guys. Thank you so much for your support. There's a few lemons on the house. Let's continue to the next request. What do we have here? Oh yes, maybe restore the music too. That's a good idea. Yes, XLM for Anyword.
XLM USDT. XLM, kind of doing that. This one actually completed that little movement to the upside that I'm thinking that others are going to get, as you can see to the top of this range. What was the last one that we were just looking at? Was that ONT?
ONT, Ontology, and Holochain we were just looking at.
Yeah. So I think that it'll be very similar to a movement like this on ONT. I think XLM, you saw it happen. So I do think that it's a little too late to get into XLM here. I think you came up, you tested this range, now you're getting sold into. You're about to get that crossover as an exit signal, this long signal. This must have been over the weekend or something. Because I'm not sure why I wouldn't have taken this signal. Usually with one this tight to the 13, I would have taken this, so I'm not sure why I would have missed this one, but it would have been a good signal. And you'd be at TP1 with stop loss at break even. I don't think this, I think that you might see some more downside, return back to the median to that 31 cents on XLM. I think that other things look stronger while this is coming right up to its resistance.
All right, brilliant. There is your look at XLM. Stellar for Anyword. What do we got? 10 minutes or so left in the show. Why don't we knock out a few more requests? Let's get into this one from Phil in Texas. Phil in Texas on DLive. Can you please look at Block? What is BLOK?
Blocktopia?
Blocktopia on KuCoin? I'm going to assume yes.
2 days old, my friend. I don't know.
Yes, Blocktopia.
Looking at the hourly.
Not much.
Hourly, I would say that if you watch this level, I bet that you get a break on this. This looks like a swing failure on the hourly. This is probably going to get sold into. But it could be making a nice little ascending triangle that gets pressure to the upside. But again, there's nothing you can do with this much data. There's just nothing. Yeah, you're just making an assumption, and it's like flipping a coin.
Indeed. So there's not much more we can comment on that, but big shout outs to Phil in Texas. Please do follow and subscribe. Glad to have you here. Polly B is next, and Polly B writes, requesting SPI on the daily, please. All right, SPI.
Shopping.io. This one looks like would have actually been, I don't even know what this trades on, KuCoin. But this would have been a beautiful signal on mine above this resistance level. This reminds me a lot of ADA today. Let's see if ADA USD does look like that. It's a little bit more buying pressure. But yeah, this looks like ADA to me. So let's go SPI USDT. I think that, I mean, if this would have been on my list of things, this would have been an easy signal to take. Everything you want, rising explosion level, WADA above, time transformation, getting the full signal, and then boom, all the way up through TP2, and then you'd be, actually, you could have it, let it running, or you hit TP3 here. This would have been a beautiful trade on this. You're coming up to resistance now. This is not the time to be buying back in. This is the time to let it relieve itself a little bit, come back to the median, even come back to that $40 range. But if you're still in it, you can be just hanging on with your stop loss at break even. But with the way it's getting sold into right now, you'll just have to wait for daily close, but you might get an exit signal here soon. But this isn't the time to be entering that, in my opinion.
All right. Well, there is your look at SPI, Polly B. My dear Polly B, your SPI request is in the bag. Let's get into this next one. The show's slowly drawing to a close. I believe this is a request for Facebook. Let's look at the Facebook stock Murdoch the Murloc on Twitch writes, curious how you guys feel about Facebook. Seems to be in a tough spot with Zuck up against the Senate and all. Well, what's the stock look like it's doing?
Well, you are getting a break of trend here, bouncing off your 200 EMA, which is, I mean, a significant pullback for Facebook. What is that? 13%. Nothing to slouch out here. But you are getting that break of trend to the downside. If you played this short from, I mean, this is a good short signal, which would have played out beautifully. Continuation short right here after the buyback would have played out. And now you're getting that break of trend. You'll have to wait for the daily to see if you actually get this break of trend, if you keep getting sold into or not. But if you were short Facebook, then this would be a time to be taking profit, in my opinion. Your oscillators are starting to push back up and cross to the upside, and you already had a beautiful short. But it could continue to the downside, but with this sell-off, I think, and this break of trend, I think you're likely to come back up here and at least test that 357 range before you get either more sell-off or Facebook just gets bought back like crazy, which wouldn't be surprising for Facebook.
All right.
Is that your mic, Jack?
What's that?
You suddenly just have a ton of static.
Do I? Hope not. All right, maybe now.
No, you're good.
All right, thank God. Let's keep the ball rolling, guys. We have a couple requests left. I see a few comments I didn't cover yet here coming across the line kind of late in the show. Guardian, I see a request. I don't think we can make it. Ben Jai on YouTube. Can you guys take a look at Hex for me? We did look at Hex a few minutes ago. You might want to check the replay and the timestamps afterwards. Let's see here. Referral bonus. Yeah, give Crypto Jenny the referral bonus. ETH1. Blockchain gains. Already looking at Hex to go back. Okay, good. Let's see here. One other comment I wanted to cover before we get to the next request. Yes, Blockchain Gains returns to the show. He says, I go off the grid for 6 months. When I come back, I lose my wrench. Yeah, I remember you were a moderator on YouTube at some point. We did have to do a bit of a cleanup on YouTube. Everybody lost their wrenches, but Blockchain Gains, if you ask nicely, I suppose I could restore yours. But with that said, shoutouts to everybody joining us. Let's get into the last couple of requests. We are about to wrap things up for today. We have Murdoch the Murloc who says, can you look at Ren and Curve, please? All right, Ren first.
Okay, look, I'm looking at Ren here. Ren to me looks like it's going to be an ascending, broadening wedge. Right here, if you look at this, I think it's just a longer term ascending, broadening wedge, which I do think that right now is the time to be looking to get out of Ren. Of course, we could have another stab to the upside, but looking at this the way that it is, I think that you end up getting that break. I don't necessarily think it needs to be that high. Yeah, it's the size of the channel at the break. So I think that we're likely to see, come on. Honestly, a break back down to, I don't want, that's not working. I think that you're likely to see a break back down to this level of 44 cents. I think that we go down from here. You are starting to get, well, Minx would have had you out already, but time transformation is starting to turn over here as well. So I think that you likely get this bleed off, maybe even down to here. I don't know how fast it'll happen, but I think that you'll get that breakdown to these levels. I think you come up here and tested it, a nice swing failure, and then you're going to get that break to the downside. I don't think Ren looks great here. I think that you are getting some, it appears that it's becoming support, but as for now, things are beginning to look weak and you're getting exit signals all over the place. So now's not the time to be looking to get long Ren. I think that with the pattern that it is, I think that you're more likely to get that ascending broadening wedge breakdown.
All right, shout outs to Murdoch to Murloc. That's your look at Ren. Curve is next. CRV.
I don't necessarily hate curve here. The long signal, actually, never mind. I wouldn't have. I can't be in this. Never mind. I thought it was on this signal. I thought it was just too overextended. But no, just didn't get a good signal on this. You're coming up and testing this resistance. There is a chance that you pop back up over this, but with the resistance that it's currently under and this swing failure so far here, I think that this actually looks like it's has more evidence of breaking down. Your oscillators are crossed under. Nothing to do here with CRV, whether it goes up or down. I do think that you're trapped under resistance, and it's more likely that it goes down, but with like I said, with what's happening with dominance and everything, we could get that that price action to the upside. But this is not something that I would be in right now.
All right, there is Jason's thoughts on curve. Got a couple minutes left in the show to see how many of these remaining we can do. ETH1 on DLive. TRX, want to stake some on my ledger. I need good entrance to buy some. Alright, ETH1 wants to know, where would you enter Tron?
To be honest with you, I wouldn't be entering anything right now if you're doing long term, just because I'm a little hesitant on. I want to be convinced of this break to the upside, and usually, guess what? If we do get a big giant break to the upside on Bitcoin, it's going to usually bleed out a little bit of the alts. Like, they're not going to go straight up with it. The money needs to move. So I think that you'll always be likely to get a good entry on Tron, but I will admit that this level here is interesting to me. That it's come down here, come up, test, come down here 3 different times, and now you've gotten back over. I do think that you're likely to get some price to the upside with Tron. You just not a good signal here. Just not one that I could take. But like I said, with most of those other ones, I think that we do get this little 3 white soldiers and then go sideways and then get another push to the upside, which, I mean, even coming up to here would give you that TP1 on Tron. But you also could get pullbacks to the mid here or just break. But that's why we only take signals that look perfect for our strategy. But I could see Tron going up from here, but it's not something that I want to take a trade on. But if you're looking for entry points for long-term Tron, it just depends on what we do next. If we come up here and make another shoulder and break down, then I'm going to be telling you need to be shooting for prices in like the 6 cents range, all the way down here. Or even possibly down to these levels of that 4 cents if we do get that big break that I do suspect at some point would fill that gap on the CME. So right now, I would just be patient with a lot of these alts. But if you're day trading, this is not a signal I would be in, but I do think it's likely to go up.
Wow, great look at Tron. Shout outs to ETH1. Hopefully I answered your question. Jason, really enjoying your TA today. Let's go into PolyB, one of the last requests of the day. Wants to look at BNB if there's time. Yes, let's go look at BNB.
This is going to be the exact same thing as Tron here. Actually, this is a little bit more aggressive than Tron. You're just kind of stair-stepping up here. Lower time frames, you'll probably be able to see that pretty clearly. But as for now, there's nothing you can do with it. But I do think that this is likely to get that push to the upside, at least up to this range. But I wouldn't be in this one myself. You did get a great signal back here. Again, this must have been on a weekend. I'm not sure why. Maybe I got to start trading the weekends again. But this is a great signal. I'm not sure why I wouldn't have taken this. This is everything I want. Oh, yeah, it was on a weekend. But yeah, we got that push to the upside. And basically, if you're in it, stay in it. You should be at least a TP1 by now and putting your stop loss at break even. Stay in it. I do think that this gets that price continuation. But as for a technical perspective, there's nothing that would make you want to enter here at all.
All right, big shout out to Polybee, one of the last requests of the day, scratched off the list. Let's get into, what time is it? All right, we started the show 5 minutes late. I think we can afford to go for an extra 5 minutes today. Wayne on YouTube, can you take a look at Tezos and Link, please?
Tezos is another one that is interesting to me. It's another ascending broadening wedge that, as for now, it looks like it's holding much stronger than the other one that we looked at. Which one was it? I think it was Ren. Ren looked like an ascending broadening wedge, but unlike this one managed to make a new all-time high, and now it's coming back down to test that old high as resistance. So this, in a technical perspective, does look strong until you get that break below that $7.60 thereabout. So if you do get that break, then I do think that it's likely to play out like an ascending broadening wedge, and then you might get a hefty sell-off on Ren. But nothing to do right now. If you caught these movements, great. Ren has had some magnificent price moves. Watch for the end of the day. If you get a nice end of the day, if you get a close on this, you could get a nice 3-bar reversal, and XTZ may end up breaking to the upside, but you definitely need to wait for your close on that. So we'll just show you what a 3-bar reversal looks like real quick. It's pretty easy to spot. I like trading them. Where's a good picture of it? Yes, it's just like this. So you get 3 candles that stab to the end, downside, that with relatively the same bar, and then you get this one that sells down to the downside, but then gets bought back up to close above this. So if you do get a close today on the daily above, let's see what that was, open above $7.98, I do think that that's a great technical low risk setup for at least up to that $8.67 range to take profit. That would be a nice 3-bar reversal, and you could see it with the new all-time high and coming down to test that old resistance as support. This might be a good technical setup to take to new all-time highs for XTZ. You'll just have to wait till the end of the day. But again, if you're gonna play a setup like that, make sure you have your TPs on the books, because that's not necessary. You can get a 3-bar reversal that plays out, but not necessarily get that continuation to the upside. So you need to be careful.
All right. Excuse me. Let's get into one of the last. All right, let's try this one more time. Let's get into one of the last requests of the day. Wayne wanted to look at Link as well. All right. Let's give Link a look.
Yeah, Link looks a lot like the Tron charts and those other ones that I do think that'll have a nice break to the upside. We did get a signal here that was just a little too far extended, but you could consider this basically waiting through that instead of taking the drawdown. You could just consider entering this here if you wanted to take a stab at it. I do think that you're going to get that price action to the upside to at least test that $30 range. But this one actually you could take for my system if you want to just take it a little bit late. But if you're going to do that, I would actually move the take profits to the day of the signal. So it'd bring you back to around like $29.47 if you were to take this signal today. But as for the oscillators, they are crossed over, so I can't really advise taking that now. But like I said, I do think that we might get some price action to the upside.
All right, excellent, Crypto Jenny, very in depth. Thank you, Jason. Well, you're welcome, Crypto Jenny. Blockchain Gains in the live chat says, what do you guys think about Rich Dad Poor Dad's call for a massive crash in the markets this month of October? I heard that. Back in my mind, I think about it. Do we have a big October surprise in store for us? There is some stuff, booming in the background. Maybe is the Evergrande.
How about you talk about the narrative that you were talking to me about the other day? I thought that was super interesting.
I'm not sure which one you're talking about. Maybe the Evergrande one, but yeah, the Chinese contagion, right? So they had the Evergrande crisis, the big real estate development firm that threads dragging down the whole system over in China. Evergrande really mucking up the works, right? Well, they defaulted on their payment on their debt obligation late September. It got put off another month. So supposedly, when that comes due later this month, and Evergrande really does finally go down, it might really,
Actually, default on it.
yeah, I'm gonna blow up the system later this month. And of course, we also have some other issues right now. You got the debt crisis with the in the U.S. the debt ceiling. The infrastructure bill maybe not passing, and just other crises, potentially looming, guys, on the horizon. So will October have a surprise in store that involves a crash? Back in my mind, the economy does look a little shaky. We saw what happened in the March meltdown.
It would play out to the narrative that's in my mind of what the chart looks like on the monthly.
Indeed. We are
If we got that break to the downside, it would be a more structured pattern than just breaking to all-time highs from here. I feel like that would be a little unnatural, but it absolutely could happen.
Indeed, could be a big opportunity, as Blockchain Gain says in the chat. Indeed, it could be a great buying opportunity when much in the way that the March meltdown of 2020 was also a buying opportunity, even though a lot of people were panic selling. All right, what time is it? It's pretty much time to go, guys. Sorry we couldn't get to the last request. Xavier wanted to look at Qtum, and
My Qtum pulled up right now, so why don't I just do that real quick?
All right, very generous. Let's do it.
Qtum did pop up. You got a signal down here, which was pretty overextended. I wouldn't have taken it, but it would have worked out beautifully. You're coming back over. It does appear that you've regained this resistance level, come support, got retested down here, wick down, and now it's reclaimed from here. I would be patient with this. Nothing to enter here now, because if you do continue to break down, you're just going to get slammed with the amount of extension that you have on this movement to the upside. But wait for this. You could get another 3-bar reversal play here. But make sure that this level at 1256 holds, and then possibly you have something there. But you are stuck under some resistance right now. Nothing to do here. Just wait. If you're in it, I would be taking profit on it. If you were up on it, maybe take half or whatever. Leave your stop loss at break even, however you like to trade. But you just need to make sure that this level becomes support now. And I think that you'll likely get some sideways action here, letting things catch up a little bit after this large volatile movement.
All right, brilliant. We really do got to head toward the exits. Appreciate everybody hanging in there with us today. B-Flow says China has trillions of dollars that could keep it propped up, and they would even own the company. Indeed. I mean,
why wouldn't they just crash it and buy cheaper?
Well, you know what? He has a point here, of course. China, of course, with the nationalized economy, can in fact have major interventions it can make, right? Whereas in, it's kind of the opposite of what we have in the U.S., right? Which is political gridlock, political brinkmanship in the face of the looming debt ceiling. So indeed, this whole China Evergrande thing could just be big FUD and amount to zero, because in the end, China can just bail it out. They have, I think, some political consensus on their hands, to put it lightly, in order to do such things. Right? They got control over the central bank. If they got to print and bail out, so be it. But who knows? Who knows? These things could just be used as excuses for moves in the market that were, weakness in the market that is just waiting to execute on, right? Just need the right crisis to use as a cover story as insiders dump into what is weakness in an overextended market. All right, David Rice, awesome show. Thank you, Crypto Jenny. Bye, everyone. Thanks again for a great show. Blockchain Gains, you guys rock. Shout outs to Justin. Yeah, shout outs to Justin. He's out there. He's listening. Don't worry. He will be back. We will be. In fact, we'll be changing the format of the show soon, guys. I'm sorry to keep hinting at it, but indeed, we got some updates coming. Looking forward to streaming you guys with a slightly different schedule. All the usual favorites will be there, of course, but we're going to be changing things up slowly here. All right, not much more to add. Big shout outs to Jason. Thanks again for holding down for holding it down today. And Alex, if you're out there, big shout outs to you. Hope you're doing well. Everybody else out there, Much love to you all. We're going out here. Jason, final words to you.
There are some good signals out there tonight. ADA is definitely going to be one I'm going to be paying attention to. I think that we do get the pullback on Bitcoin here and allows some of these USDT pairs and the alts to really breathe again, I think. So just make sure you're trading safely. Don't get too attached to too many positions here. I'm still bearish. Sorry, guys. Like, I've seen things pop up like this and then just get sold into immediately, and then also just get drug out and then just slowly lose. So I'm on the sideline for most signals. Like I said, there's a few outliers out there today with ADA that I'll likely be taking, but I think that we might get a little bit of a pullback here, guys. So make sure that you're being careful on Bitcoin.
Peace out.
Goodbye.
That's the stuff. Cheers.